Good morning, my lovelies. And it is morning. And I didn't go to sleep very early last night. Why? Because I was doing the next module on my PhD study. And it was so good. We were looking at the politics of language. And, just blew me away. I just couldn't stop studying. It was just such an incredible module. And it really brought up a lot for me because one of the activities that we had to do was talk about what it's like for us when we're conversing with people. And it reminded me of how much so many people live in the 3D world. Because it didn't mention anything about energy. It didn't mention anything about body language. And as somebody who speaks, if we add them all up, I speak about 5, 6 languages. And I say that because when I speak English, I speak all Englishes. British English is my mother tongue. I speak American English, Canadian English. And then you've got, your Irish and your Australian and your New Zealand English. Now, for some people, they're like, oh, it's just English, but it's not. As an English teacher, I could not teach American English. The grammar is different. And then we've got Arabic. Every Arabic dialect is so different. And one of the things that makes a lot of people laugh when they hear me speak Arabic, especially with Arabs, they go, where are you from? Because when I speak Arabic, they have some Arabic from Masr. They have Arabic from the Shami region. Masr is Egypt, by the way. They have Arabic from the Shami region, from Maghribi. They have it from the Gulf. They have it from the Quran. And they also have Modern Standard. So my Arabic, as I like to say, is أنا عندك عربي شوربة في مخي. I have Arabic soup in my brain. And then we have the Spanish. The Spanish from Europe, the Spanish from Chile, the Spanish from Argentina, the Spanish from all the different areas here in Brazil. And they're also different as well. And one of the things that we were looking at is the way in which people have gone around the world, especially the British. Gotta love the British. And we have colonized so many people. And the French have done it too, as have the Dutch. And obviously the Spanish. And we have told people, you're not allowed to speak your language. You're not allowed to speak your tongue. The French did it in lots of parts of Africa. And in Spain, when we look at the Basque Country and Catalonians, you're not allowed to speak Basque. You're not allowed to speak Catalonian. You're only allowed to speak Galician. And what was really interesting for me was that I'd been writing about this in in the workbook for those who take part in the Authority Mastermind, when we're looking at the cultural diversity aspect and the human rights and social justice. And someone said to me the other day, why is it you're marketing it as something just for those in the 1% of the 1% dawn? And what does it actually mean? So I'm here to tell you what actually the 1% within the 1% means. Because I know that it doesn't matter what it is that I want to do, I am going to make sure I do it. That puts me in a very small percentage of people. Because most people will go, oh, what do I have? What can I get for that? Not me. I look at it the other way around. I want to do that. What do I need to do to get to do that? If I want to do a course, you can bet your ass I'm going to do it. So that already, like I said, that puts me in about 10% of people. So what makes me the 1% in the 1%? Well, the 1% of the 10% of people who are actually going to get off their ass and make sure they get whatever it is that they want. We're the ones that are actually going to invest in our education, but we look at it in a way that, okay, what am I actually getting for what I'm investing in. Because it's not just about the return on investment in a monetary sense. It's in the connections we make. It's in the long-term vision. This has nothing to do with the 1% of people that are millionaires or billionaires or of that level. Although when you invest in programs like mine, or you invest to work with me on a 1%, on a one-to-one basis, you do need to have money in the bank. I do have a huge spectrum of products, starting from my books at, $10. Then I've got programs, at $50 and $100 and then $500 and upwards. But to do a 7-month authority mastermind, which is really 9 months if we look at the whole process, you need to be investing money. You need to be investing 5 and 6 figures in these kind of programs. It's a mastermind with the world's leading experts. This is not just somebody who's done a course and paid 25 quid on a Udemy or whatever it is program. You're dealing with experts that have got 10, 20, 30 years awards after their name. They have published. They have been leaders of the industry. So if you're looking at a course or a mastermind or a program or whatever you want to call it, you've got to look at who you're working with. And then you've also got to look at, okay, what knowledge am I learning? How has this been put together? Now, in one of my previous videos, I talked about the history of leadership, going back thousands of years from around the world in different areas of the concepts of leadership, the ethics and the morals of leadership. And then we were talking about, then I said, looking at what we've seen and how it's so broken, but how we as individuals, what is it that we love about leadership? And how are we going to take that into every single area of life, not just into business? My courses are never just about business, ever. They're more to do with social justice, owning our truth and human rights and being culturally diverse as possible. And this is one of the things that I loved about last night's module. It was actually looking at the diversity within the diversity of a language and how we speak. Now, I had a call, yesterday and the day before, I have had some calls with some really amazing people. The people on my team, the people that are working with me, not just in the publishing area of my business, but also on this mastermind, and my team as a whole. And I got really present to just how many people I actually now have on my team. And I got quite overwhelmed by it because I was like, holy moly, that happened quite quickly. But it didn't happen quickly at all. It's like those overnight success stories that have taken 20 years. But it was really interesting because the 1% in the 1% were the people, like I said, that what is it I want? What is it? How do I get there? I'm going for it. I'm going to do whatever it takes me to get there. But the 1% are the ones that are actually then going to invest and they're going to stick to it. And they're going to go from module 1 to module 9. Now, module 7 and then continue for the last 2 months. Now, I call it a 7-month mastermind because the mastermind process is 7 months. There is 7 modules. And each one of those 7 modules has got 7 topics within them. We go deep, obviously. It's my kind of mastermind. So, of course, we're going to go deep. We are going to be multifaceted, layers and layers and more layers and more layers. If you want the skim on the top, go elsewhere. I don't do skim on the top. Ugh. But then in the 8th month, you get aftercare service to make sure that everything that you've been working on, I mean, you're going to get the obviously fabulous service throughout the 7 months. But then the 8th month is what I call the aftercare service. Because we've been in this catalyst of change together on a weekly basis for 7 months. Now, whether that is in week 1 where we're doing the workbook and we're getting deep down a day with the workbook, or whether it's the day where we go deep diving in one whole day on these 7 topics, taking what we've learned in the module and then extrapolating on them in workbook, in workshops, and the net brainstorming and the creation day that's in week 2, and then the Q&A session and the what I call the percolation session, where everything that we've done in week 1 and the mastermind in the workbook in week 1, and then everything we've done during the day in week 2, we get together in week 3 and we start going, okay, right, this is the action I'm taking. These are the goals. This is the plans. This is the deadlines. This is the time frames. That's what week 3 looks like. And then week 4 is you implementing it. It's you going out there into the world. But throughout all of this process, we're actually writing your book. Now, I didn't realize I hadn't made that clear to people. Being an author and a publisher and calling it the Authority Mastermind, I had just assumed, great language skill for me here, I had just assumed that people had understood that this program that I'm running, this mastermind that I'm running, is about as actually getting you to becoming an authority. To be an authority, it has to come from, the author is the root word of authority. So for me, if you didn't publish a book with me at the end of these 7 months, well, the 9 months, then I wouldn't have created 11 new authorities in the world. So, month 8 is me getting you ready for you to publish, getting you through that emotional roller coaster of getting prepared to publish. Because the leadership modules is you owning who you are as a leader and what it is that you don't like. Then there's the culture thing. Which cultures are you dealing with? Within yourself, within the world, and which cultures are you addressing problems with? And then the module 4 is the social justice and the human rights. Because if you're building a business or you're actually being a human in this world or working for another organization, regardless of whether it's business or a not-for-profit or whatever it is, you've got to have human rights at the very core of everything you're doing. And then we're looking at your ego, because to publish a book and stand on stages and strip yourself naked, and I'm not talking clothes, anyone can get naked when it comes to being clothed or not clothed. I'm talking about truly naked with your soul, with your truth, and getting that real person that is who you are when you're with your deepest, closest friends out into the book. And then how you're going to brand that. And how you're going to tell that story. And how you're going to bring a voice to the voiceless. And how you're going to harness everything that you've done in your life to this moment and put it out there and actually bring your expertise, your professional and your purpose and your calling together. And then how we're going to market that in module 7. And so taking you through month 8 will be that aftershock aftercare. And then the final month is when you've handed me your manuscript and I've said, yes, it's ready for publishing. It then goes into the publishing process. So we're birthing books. We've got a 9-month gestation period of birthing this beautiful book of yours. And that's why we are the 1% in the 1%. Because lots of people will tell you they're going to write a book. Less than 5% of people actually do start it. Less than 3% actually finish the manuscript. And then only 1% of that 3% that actually wrote the book will then go on to publish. And then those 1% that actually publish, they're the 1% that's actually writing a book that's of service to humanity, that's a legacy. Now, most of you will know by now that I am the social justice publisher of choice, is how we clarified that yesterday. Oh yeah, Dawn writes game-changing books. Dawn writes real, like, intense books. Dawn writes really deep books on political and social science. But the truth of it is, people that are interested in social justice are the kind of people that come to me because they want to make a real difference in the world. They want to talk about the subjects that actually change the trajectory of humankind. They're the people that actually have been through the deepest, darkest, dirtiest nights of the soul and actually want to use that experience, the things that happened for them, not to them. And again, that puts you in a different percentage. Those of us who understand that everything happens for us, not to us, that will put you in a percentage. So if we're going deeper into all of these percentages, my sons would be laughing at me right now. They're like, Mum, you're talking about percentages. You have no idea about percentages. You don't need, like, my sons explain their maths homework to me and I have no idea what they're talking about half the time. Talk about division from the education system. But anyway, so those of you who want my fire on your spine, I like that. I'm not having a tattoo, by the way. That's not happening. And I'm not dishing out tattoos. It's the fire on the spine of your book that actually says I stand for something. I am going to burn injustice to the ground. I am going to burn all the previous ideas and preconceived concepts of what it means to be a leader in this world. I'm going to burn like that fire burns within me, whether that's a passion, whether that's a feminine fire, or like me, the Sagittarian, the Celtic fire. That fire on my spine of my books that I publish for myself and my clients actually means something. Those of you who pay attention will see a lot of things in my branding that actually, if you look carefully, they actually signify a lot of things. The 33 stands for something. Those of you who know about numerology, you'll know what the 33 stands for. Those of you who know why the purple is in the flame, you'll know why that purple is in the flame. And you'll know it's not to do with pretty pictures and pretty colours. It's a level of awareness. It's a level of consciousness. There is a meaning behind everything that I do. My website, it's blue, not just because of the ocean. It'd be a different kind of blue, but because it's in the depths of the ocean. But also blue is a colour you can trust. Blue is such a beautiful colour. It's a foundation of so many others. We've got sky blue, but what does the sky do? It changes into so many different blues. You've got the deep blue of the sky at night. You've got the deep blue on a summer's day. You've got the pale blue of the wispy woo. And then you've got all the blues of the ocean. And then all the blues of denim, which is one of my favourite fabrics. But blue is one of those most beautiful colours. It's also about I believe it's a throat chakra. Because it obviously is truth. You're speaking your truth. The silver that you see in my branding represents steel as well as silver. Silver in Spanish is Plato or Plato. And Plato was a great philosopher. So now we've gone from metals to philosophy. I also only wear silver. I don't like gold. It's also platinum. So we're actually looking at a lot of things on a very deep level. And then you've got the pearlized shells. Pearls are from the ocean. Pearls of wisdom. And then you'll look at all the wispy nebulas. Because one of the things that I totally believe in is the sky is not the limit. And if you think the sky is the limit, then you are selling yourself short. The sky is not the limit. In the sky, then we go into the cosmos. I love nebulas. Absolutely adore nebulas. They're just stunning, especially when you're out in the middle of the ocean and you're looking at them when there's no light pollution. Oh my God. But once you're in the cosmos, there are wormholes and black holes. You go down one of those, you end up somewhere else. And then when you get to that somewhere else, I guarantee you there will be another nebula and there'll be another black hole and you get to go down there. And I'm the kind of girl that when I'm at a fairground and I see the helter-skelter or the bumpy slide, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to get that Hessian mat and I'm going to run to the top and slide all the way down and go and repeat, and then probably do repeat. The other night when I travelled here, I found a trampoline. While everybody else is inside eating food that didn't smell that nice, I was on the trampoline. I'd got more Chiba playing in my phone and in my headset, and I'm jumping up and down on the trampoline for half an hour. It was great fun. And everything I do is fun. So the topics I talk about might be high level, critical thinking, next level consciousness subjects. But one of the reasons why I need to have fun in my day is because if I didn't, and if I didn't giggle and have my giggle therapy session every day, life would be pretty tough. So, the 1% in the 1% that are interested in changing the world, that want to go through a 7-month mastermind and have a book published at the end of it with my fire on your spine, then come and talk to me. We start the 7-month process on the 1st of August. And I've got to get you some pre-work for you to actually get your head around why it is and what's happening and da-da-da-da-da. And I need some paperwork from you. So if you're interested and you do want to dive deep, then come and speak to me. I've got 6 incredible leaders from around the world working with me on this. And then I've got my team that are going to be backing you. And you're going to have a book published at the end of it. Because I'm going to turn you into an authority. You are going to turn yourself inside out to become the authority you were born to be. So come join us. Let's have some fun whilst changing the world all at the same time. Because that's what we do. Those of us in the 1% of the 1%. All right then, my lovelies. I'm going to go and have breakfast. I'm going to go and have some coffee. And I'm going to continue editing my first 3 books and changing those because there's some very exciting things happening with those. Mwah. Much love to you all, and I'll chat with you all very, very soon. Ciao, ciao.